Let's have a conversation about abandonment wounds in relationships. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I've been counseling women and men who have experienced abuse as well as those who have been perpetrators of abuse and other violent crimes. I have a commenter here who said, Dr. Jones, can you do a video on women with abandonment wounds? I think that is a common reason for them staying in toxic relationships. Absolutely, I can do this. So I've done a few podcasts on this. One of them I did many years ago with author Susan Anderson, and she's written some great books on abandonment, the journey to abandonment, a lot of stuff on abandonment and healing. So I recommend definitely checking out her books. And there's a number of ways in which people can be abandoned or experience abandonment. That could be physical abandonment, emotional abandonment. It could even be sexual abandonment, honestly. But if you experience physical abandonment, which a lot of us do, like if parents are not there. So, for example, if your parents maybe gave you up for adoption, if you have a parent that sort of left the family and started a new family, somewhere else, or you left them and you never heard from them again. If you had a parent that died at a young age, that would be physical abandonment. Those would be some examples of that. Emotional abandonment. It could be if you have both parents there, but they're just not emotionally available, for example, or if you have one parent there that's emotionally available, but the other parent is not, that sort of thing. And you could have both of them in your life, but maybe one parent is just not an emotional person, or they don't really engage with the children as much, or you have a parent that works all the time and is not available to show up for you in that way. So those would be examples if you grew up with abandonment wounds, right? And so a lot of abandonment wounds come from our parents, or at least our very first caregivers. You may have a parent that's incarcerated. You may have a parent that's on drugs, was never there. And so a lot of times when we are abandoned at a very early age, we try to seek out a person to rectify that with. And that person that we usually seek out can remind us subconsciously, and we may not even be aware of it, but they remind us of that parent, that person that was never there. And so what we may do is we may seek out a partner that's similar to our parents to try and recreate a different narrative, to prove to ourselves that maybe we won't get left behind. And so what that could look like is a number of different ways, and it's a lot to go into depth over a 10-minute video. But what I have found, some of the dynamics that I have found that exist in people is, number one is maybe someone who is a serial monogamous. So you get out of one relationship and you run into another. You don't like being alone. Being alone absolutely terrifies you. And so when it doesn't work out with one person, as soon as I can, I'm going to get right back under another person, because I only feel whole when I'm with somebody else. Again, number two would be something like choosing the same type of partner over and over. So it can be an abusive partner. It can be a partner that's emotionally unavailable. And emotional unavailability can show up in a number of different ways. It can be some of the ways it can show up is just having a partner that's busy all the time, that's at work all the time, a partner that cheats all the time, a partner that just doesn't like the idea of a relationship, a partner that lives at a far enough distance so that you don't see them or talk to them, and you're okay with having long distance partners all the time. Right. So there's a level of physical unavailability there, but also maybe even emotional unavailability, because how well do you truly know a person if they're long distance all the time? There are a lot of people that, again, are deathly afraid of being alone, but the other side of it, in not just being alone, there are people that are especially, and I find this happens a lot more in women, where it's like, I don't want to give up on the relationship, because if I give up on the relationship, that reiterates the ideology that I'm a failure, I couldn't keep a man, or I couldn't keep a partner, or that I'm unlovable, or that I'm unworthy of love. And oh my gosh, don't let it happen more than once. Women in a lot of cases get down and out about that, because they feel like that reflects on them and their personal character if they've had multiple failed relationships, multiple failed marriages, or if they've had children, and that person didn't stay around. One of the things I hear a lot is, I'm the common denominator. And my question back to you, well, won't you always be the common denominator in your life, right? So you're always going to be the common denominator. So that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense or logic. And I'm not trying to make light, and I'm not trying to minimize what you're going through. What I'm trying to do is, create some distance away from that narrative that there's something bad, there's something unlovable about me, and just say what it is. Like, I've had some relationships that didn't work out. Maybe I have some behavioral patterns in the way that I show up in relationships, the way that I'm dating, or the way I think about love, or the type of person that I keep trying to have a relationship with. What is going on? What is that pattern about? And maybe I need to delve into that more, as opposed to saying I'm a bad person, I'm an unlovable person, I make crazy or bad, terrible choices, and so there's something wrong with me. So if you can, try to stay away from the negative, speak, the negative ideologies that there's something wrong, or that you're never going to get love, and those sorts of things. Be honest about, not liking the fact of being alone. Be honest about, missing your mother or your dad's love and really wanting that. Be honest about never knowing them or having a relationship with them, and always wanting that. Because then once you're honest about what's really going on, once you're owning what's really going on, once you're aware of what's really going on, then that's when you can actually make some different choices and take some different steps in your love life, in your partnerships, in probably in your friendships and things like that too. Most likely in your work relationships and other areas too, where you're afraid of letting go, you're afraid of being alone. So you sort of latch on like a dog with a bone, even tighter, out of fear that you have to do something, or you're afraid of losing something, or you're afraid of being alone or getting left behind. And it is one of the reasons too, not just abandonment, but fear of, never having your dreams come true, that a lot of people find themselves rushing or staying in these relationships way past the expiration date. I won't get to have children. I won't get to get married. I won't get to have that big, beautiful home that I've always dreamed of. I have the career. Now I want the partner to kind of go with it. And so I really need those things, and everything else has sort of fallen into place. But this, why am I not excelling in that? And, what is going on with me? So, these are people that try really hard to excel in all the ways and feel like they're falling short. And so they will prop up a partner, right? A partner that's not good for them. They're going to make it work. And they'll prop that partner up by any means necessary. You don't have a job? That's fine. I got you. You don't have your life together? That's fine. I'll help you. You don't have this, you don't have that. You don't care for me this way or that way. You're constantly cheating on me. That's all right. I'll look past that, because I'm going to make it work. I am determined to have a happy ending, even if I have to create that all in my mind. Hope that helps.